Another tough, heartbreaking loss for Virginia football. Chris Graham here on the podcast. Virginia dominated the line of scrimmage, but a Tony Muskett third quarter pick six was crucial as Miami, despite being outplayed by the 19-point road dogs, that's Virginia, 2 straight weeks playing great on the road against the top flight ACC team, but Miami rallied to win 29-26 in overtime on Saturday. Virginia at 2-6, 1-3 ACC led most of the way actually in this one. Played again just like last week at North Carolina. Played like the dominant team. A look at the postgame stats will get your head scratching, wondering what the heck happened here. Virginia outgained Miami 377 to 266. Had a 9-minute advantage in time of possession. Ran 83 plays to Miami's 56. Even won the turnover battle 2-1, but that one turnover was a pick six. And Miami scored as a result twice in a 7-second span of the third quarter. One was a highlight reel 26-yard TD run by A.J. Allen, on which Allen leapfrogged Jonas Sanker at the UVA 15 and continued into the end zone. It's actually a play that led to Allen having to leave the game with an injury. He hurt his hamstring as he landed after the leapfrog and continued into the end zone, but it was not a go after that. On the next play from scrimmage after that play, then Virginia quarterback Muskett, I mentioned, through the pick six, a 29-yard return by Canes defensive back Cameron Kitchens. And that flurry turned what had been a Virginia 10-3 lead into a 17-10 Miami lead. But credit to Virginia, they came back. 15-play, 69-yard drive, 23-yard Will Bettridge field goal made it 17-13, under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. And then after a UVA interception, Cam Robinson, that guy is a dude, by the way. He reminds me a lot of Noah Taylor, big guy who can rush the quarterback and also drop back in coverage at linebacker. Virginia went 49 yards on 6 plays and got in the end zone on a 10-yard TD run by Mike Collins, his second of the game, 5th in the last 2 weeks. That put Virginia up 2017 at the end of 3. The teams kind of traded field goals in the fourth quarter. 2 long ones by Andres Borregales, 50 and 48 yards. The last one with 123 to play, sandwiched around another Bettridge short field goal. And the short field goals were a part of this game that was the reason Virginia came up on the short end. 5 trips to the red zone, 4 field goals for Virginia. The game went to overtime after that 48-yarder. And Virginia in the overtime had the ball first. Unable to get a first down. Another short Bettridge field goal put Virginia on top. Miami got the ball. Mark Fletcher, 3 carries. They kept it conservative. Knowing Miami, Mario Cristobal, knowing that all they needed to do was score a touchdown to win the game. Ran the ball 3 times, 9 yards, 5 yards, and 11 yards for Fletcher on the game-winning score. Refs missed the holding call right in front of the play that sprung him for that big gainer, and unfortunately, that's just what happens sometimes. Game notes: Virginia's now lost 4 games this season by 3 points or fewer. Muskett, aside from the pick six, had nice counting numbers: 24-38 through the air, 239, 110.7 passer rating. He was sacked 6 times, but I will say this is, and we've seen this a lot this season. I don't blame all those sacks on Muskett on the O-line. We'll know more tomorrow when I get a chance to pour through the Pro Football Focus numbers, but just watching it live, it looked like Muskett was holding on the ball a tick too long on some of those, and that allowed the Miami front to get to him. Malik Washington was good, a beast again, another 100-yard game, his 6th of the season, 12 catches on 15 targets, 152 yards, 97 yards after the catch. His 6th game this season with 100 plus, and he had a 7th game where he missed 100 by 3 yards, 97 yards in the loss to Maryland. Malachi Fields, 7 catches, 7 targets, 67 yards, kept the chains moving. Virginia ran for 138, which might not sound like a lot. The last 2 games over 200, but and after accounting for sack yardage, 168 yards on 39 attempts. And this is against a Miami defense that was 1st in the ACC coming in and 7th in the country, allowing just 79.6 yards per game. So Virginia was able to move the chains with the running game a lot in this one. On the defensive end, our defensive side, as far as game notes, Cam Robinson, 9 tackles, INT that led to points. I mentioned he reminds me a lot of Noah Taylor, whose name we otherwise don't mention very much since he transferred to Carolina for his last year, but a tall linebacker who can drop back in space and defend in coverage. Also, makes tackles and in the run game. He has ability to rush the passer. This Robinson kid's special. Jonas Sanker had 9 tackles, the one missed one that led to the touchdown, but also recorded 2 pass breakups. And the secondary was solid again. Miami's quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, was 20 of 30 for 163 yards and 2 INTs. And modest or not even very good on the college scale, 99.0 passer rating. The college scale is inflated like crazy. The key sequence in this one, if you ask me, I mean, gosh, I mentioned the 4 field goals in the red zone. I mentioned the pick 6. There was also the odd sequence at the end of the first half. Virginia's up 10-3. Trying to play the 4-minute offense where you can run some clock. Got the ball back after a Miami field goal. I think it was about 4:20-ish to go in the first half. Got a couple first downs, got the clock moving so that Miami wouldn't get the ball back with any chance to do anything. Virginia was going to get the opening kickoff of the second half. So if Virginia could run clock out first, at least they would preserve the lead. The Cavs would preserve the lead going into halftime, but then got the ball to midfield after getting a first down on a 3rd and short. So with 1:01 to go, ball at midfield, all your timeouts in play, it was a chance there to do something, get a couple more first downs, get Will Bettridge in the field goal range, and maybe go up 2 scores, and then get the ball to start the second half. But instead, Virginia, Coach Tony Elliott, his offensive coordinator, Des Kitchings, went very conservative, ran the ball on first down, a run that actually lost some yardage, then let the clock run for 20 seconds before the next snap, which was a play call that was a pass, but was what led to a Tony Muskett sack. And then let the clock run down from there all the way down. There was a 3rd down play that was essentially just going to be a Hail Mary. Muskett was trying to buy some time to get that Hail Mary pass off, did not do so, got sacked again. And so wasted opportunity there, to say the least. Not that you're not guaranteed, obviously, to get anything there, but a wasted opportunity. I mentioned the game came down on the bottom line part of this. The game came down to 2 things: 4 field goals on the red zone trips and the pick 6. Otherwise, this game played like a double-digit UVA win. Just putting it bluntly. And it turned into another close loss. That's a sign that there's still something wrong in terms of the attention to detail. Not only was this the 4th loss by 3 or fewer points, it was also the 4th loss in a game that Virginia led by double digits. That's hard to figure, but the double-digit lead against JMU in the 4th quarter in a 1-point loss, double-digit lead early in the Maryland game, and what turned into a 42-14 loss. The score was no indication of how close that game was most of the way. Then the double-digit lead, 21-7 lead at halftime against Boston College, lost that game 27-24, and then this one here up 10-0 in the second quarter, and losing this one. So what those 2 trends together seems to suggest, there's enough there in terms of talent, which I would not have said before the season, but there's enough there in terms of talent. There's enough there in terms of, it seems like, game planning, putting the guys in the right place, get those 2-score leads, and to play these close games against good opponents. But there's still something missing. It's either in preparation during the week, game day management, maybe a combination of both, that snatches defeat from the jaws of victory. That's basically saying they're close, but still have work to do. So that's the sum of where things stand. Again, the final score: Miami 29, Virginia 26. Virginia falls to 2-6 on the season. Next week, come back home for the first time in a while, hosting Georgia Tech, and we'll see how that one goes. Well, we have a lot of coverage on Augusta Free Press. There's a story as I'm speaking here already on the site. Scott German with a column. We'll have more coming tomorrow with thoughts from Coach Tony Elliott. Also inside the numbers, a little bit more detail there, and then the grade, the report card coming up. It'll probably be on Monday, and so we'll have a lot more detail coming up here in the next couple of days. If you have anything for me about UVA football, UVA basketball, anything, please email me at chris@augustafreepress.com.